everyone, welcome back. So this is my February setup video, and if you've been following me on Instagram, you will have noticed that I have made a change, a very dramatic change, and it was born out of me being just really overwhelmed and a conversation I had with Antonisha Lachey, in which it occurred to me that we have one book July, but we really need to have one book January. Everybody comes into January with all the things, all the planners, all the things they're committing to, and just like New Year's resolutions, we crash and burn. And so this really should be a thing, and maybe next year I will make it a thing. So this is my one book January. Now, you'll have to forgive me, I'm cheating a little bit because it's 2 books, but think of it more like a traveler's notebook sort of a situation, and I do have a planner cover that these will be going into, which will essentially make it one book. So what I have switched into is a Jibun Techo. I believe that's how you say it, and I could be wrong. I get corrected all the time. And I also have a Stalogy 365. So this is a B6 Slim, and this is a regular B6 size. So we'll start with this book, and then I'll talk about what is in that one. So I'm not going to do a complete walkthrough on this. There are so many videos with walkthroughs of this type of book that's pretty much all that's out there, and I would rather contribute something slightly different. So this is the B6 Slim size, also known as the Mini, and it's the Biz version. So what that means is, as you see, if you look at a lot of the other videos, this is the not as colorful, smaller font. I'm kind of a font nerd, and I like the font on this better. The other one's very like 8-bit graphic sort of font, and that's not my cup of tea. So anyway, there are generally 3 books that come with these if you get a full setup in the non-biz version. Otherwise, there's a life book, there is an idea book, which I don't have in here because I'm using this for that instead. And then there's the actual diary itself. So I will insert a picture somewhere around in here. The reason I have not been posting and anywhere pretty much, and I think you probably have seen a picture or 2 on Instagram if you follow me there. I have a new puppy, and it's a very long story short, but and I couldn't talk about it here previously. I can now without getting super weepy, but we had a dog that passed away. He'd been my fur baby for 12 years. He passed away in December, and granted, we have 2 dogs, so it wasn't like we went from 1 dog to no dogs, but Calvin was on my schedule, and so it was very empty in the house when I was up in the morning by myself. I was used to doing things with him, kind of having company, that sort of thing. So after the first of the year, I was contacted by a rescue person that I was working with, and she let me know she had a mom and some puppies that were coming through that were going to be available for adoption, and asked if I was interested. She sent me a picture, I fell in love, the rest is history. So anyway, super cute, and it's very entertaining to see how she grows daily, literally, and also just her attitude and things that she does. So I'm working on dog training, which I haven't done in 12 years, so it's been an interesting thing. The whole reason I say that is because I realized we've had her 2.5 weeks now that I really need to, she's been on somewhat of a schedule, but I really need to kind of nail a schedule down for her. So this is the schedule that I'm working on for her kind of as throughout the day. She has finally gotten to the point where if we keep her up late enough and let her out right before we go to bed, she'll sleep through the night. The first week, it was literally every hour or 2 she wanted to be up and going to the bathroom. So we've made improvements there, thank goodness. I'm sleeping a lot better. And underneath here, I just have some notes about things that I potentially wanted to add in here. So again, I'm not going to do a complete and total flip through, but I am going to tell you the pages I'm using and how I'm using them, at least the ones I'm using right now. So this is an annual overview, months across the top, days down the side. This is the travel schedule for my family, whether it's myself, things I'm doing for the industry. My mom tends to travel a lot on trips, so all of that will be here. So it's kind of my master list of, oh, somebody's out of town. When do they leave? When will they be back? So that's what I'm using this for. I have my goals here in the My Dreams section. I am not using these as of yet. When I do start using them, I will show you how. And again, this is a quick flip through. This is a tracking section. It's also can be used as a Gantt chart, so I have not decided how I want to use it yet. Whether I want to use it for tracking, because I'm supremely horrible at trackers and remembering to fill them out, unless they're on my phone and they're like in my face. But it's also potentially a Gantt chart, which if you're not familiar with project management, essentially it lets you see how projects are laid out, which depending on how things go, I may use it for that because I'm changing how our lease renewals are working at the office. So I may use it for like lease renewal sections, being able to see kind of when things are starting, when they need to go out, that sort of thing. Or it could be a combination of both. Like I said, not sure how I'm going to use this yet. All right, let's hop in. The next section is months. So this is my January. Scooch it up a little bit. I actually had this fairly plain until last night where I went in and added a little bit of washi. These little tiny stickers are from Planner Kate. I like them because it means I don't have to write out payday or house cleaning, and then the crosses are Bible study. I actually made these little holiday stickers myself. So it's not only holidays, but I also have them for NASCAR races. My husband, and therefore me by proxy, we are NASCAR fans. So that's usually what we end up doing on Sundays. And I'm always asking him, at least in the past, hey, where's the race this weekend? Just so I know. And so I finally got tired of asking him, so I made my own sticker. So now I can tell him where the race is, and he usually does ask. So anyway, this is how I've been using my usual monthly overviews. It's, in general, what large events are going on. I did have some inspiration, and I'll kind of point out where and when it comes in, from Pam G. At writesquire.com. When I was doing research on the Jibun Tichos, her website came up because she does use them. And she had some really interesting ideas for bullet journaling, which I will get into a little bit later. So her thought was to put a little square in front of your events. So you can mark off if they happened. I actually just crossed through this one. You can cross through it in red if it doesn't, just so you can note that it happened. She also uses bars of highlighters to mean different things. I may go that direction at some point in the future instead of stickers, but I have so many of these little stickers, I might as well just use them. But when I run out, like I may put like a green highlighted bar across the top of the number box to denote that that day is payday, stuff like that. I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Same thing for all the months. I have monthly intentions or things that I need to do that month up here. What I do, okay, I moved it. So these are the Jibun Techo. They're little post-it flags, but they're also see-through somewhat. They're translucent anyway. You can use them to highlight something you've already written, or I wrote on these in a very fine tip Sharpie. Any sort of permanent marker should be fine. And then I can move these from month to month. So these are my monthly review, quarterly review, etc., reminders. So what I've done, because obviously you don't see a monthly review here, is I can then move it to that week. And there it is. And when I'm done with it, I just move it to the next one. All right, go back here. I don't think there's anything too much else that's different about the months. I have birthdays noted down here. All right, so let's jump into the weeks. So this is, this is the first week that I used this. They have little stencils, which this is what I've used for appointment times. just in case you're curious. So this is 24 hours. It starts with 0, goes down to 24, so it's essentially in military time. The dark sections at the top and bottom denote when it's generally dark. The ones that have the lighter circles are daytime hours, generally. There's little tiny weather icons across the top, which I didn't do anything with it. I think I got this on Wednesday night, so I filled in the weather for Thursday through Sunday, and I just back planned this section here. So there's a section here for thoughts, things that happened during the day. They have like a smiley face, a meh face, and a sad face, so you can maybe make a note of things that were happy, just okay, or maybe you can use it as a mood tracker. There are 3 lines at the bottom that have traditionally been used for meal planning. Let's see what else is on here that I'm doing unusual. There isn't much. If you look up, a lot of people will do highlighted. They'll fill in these with highlighters to color them. What I started doing is just to keep track of when I was actually at the office. I just took my mild liner, the thin side, like the pointy pen side, and just drew a line through the hours that I was at the office. Same thing here. This was an industry something, so I just denoted that there. So other than that, I have my to-dos for the week in this column, and if I have something I need to do on a specific day, I'm putting it in that day. I did go back and add stickers. I may not always do that, but again, I had a bunch of Planner Kate samplers. I figured I might as well use them since I had them. So I did go ahead and start planning next week. Basically, that just means that I put in the appointments that I have. And I did write across the top, you'll actually see it here as well, kind of my daily theme. So Mondays are days that I work on goals and projects. Tuesdays are generally for recurring tasks, and sometimes like the one-off tasks that I have to do. Wednesdays, because I work from home, is usually a home and like social media focus. Usually that's when I'm filming videos or, getting them edited and ready to be posted. Thursdays and Fridays are when I have meetings. So those are primarily for meetings. And then whatever time I have left on Thursdays, I work on tasks, because I usually have recurring tasks Tuesday and Thursday. And then Friday is an extra like bonus goal day for me. So to kind of move goals forward. Saturday and Sunday are rest days. Saturday is kind of a home focused day also. So home chores, getting stuff planned for the next week, grocery shopping, errands, that sort of stuff. And I used to do that across both Saturday and Sunday, but I decided that I really wanted to try and make Sunday more of a rest day, especially because every other week approximately I'm teaching a confirmation class in the evening. And so it's really hard for me to try and do a bunch of stuff and then go teach the confirmation class. I'd rather just kind of have a day to relax. So that's kind of my goal for Sundays as much as possible. So that is how I am using this. Again, I don't have anything in the back. The life book, I'm basically just using for birthdays. I don't have anything else in here at this point in time. I may at some point in the future. But as long as I was recording today, I thought I would basically do kind of my plan with me for the month and the week, since we're basically coming into February. So these are the weekly routines, and I am going to go through and do a more specific video on these and how I set them up. I keep making these in different sizes. So this is actually, basically I put it as a B6, but then trimmed it down by an inch. So these are, instead of 5x7, they're 4x6. So I don't think that's exactly A6 size, though it might be. I have an A6 notebook here. So yeah, I guess it is A6, essentially, because this is an A6 notebook and it's about that size. So, all right, so it's an A6 size thing. I just, since this is B6 Slim, wanted something slightly narrower so that I could tuck this in the back. So as you can see, I actually have a saddle stapler, so I went ahead and just stapled it together to make it like a little traveler's notebook. So I have the weekly routine on the front page. So these are my themed days and my weekly plan. We just talked about my theme days. So on Wednesdays, I have the things that I try to do. Saturday, the things that I try to do. And then Sunday, you can see basically it's just church, any meal prep that I need to do, and then laundry. So then I have my daily routines for both home and work. So this is my morning routine at the house, my evening routine when I get home. And on these, I've tried to incorporate some of the daily cleaning tasks that I want to get done. I've divided up morning and evening, so I'm not trying to do it all at one time. At work, I have workday wind up and workday wind down. So this is kind of getting me eased into my day and then ending the day and then looking forward to the next one. These I got as an idea from Ashlyn Wrights, I think is the name of her website. But I'll link that down below so you can actually see her website, and she has a whole bunch of really good information. So then I have my yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily review checklists. I don't always use these when especially like the daily review. I don't really pull this out and look to see, but obviously these are still in transition because I printed them out and immediately went and made a couple of notes on here. They're constantly changing. Sometimes I take things out, sometimes I add things in. It really depends on what I need to do. And then this last page is basically a master task list. So these are the things that I don't do regularly that I need to remember to do, like filing taxes, scheduling doctor's appointments, cleaning out clothes, dentist appointments, vegetable garden stuff, changing oil, that sort of thing. All right, so let's use this really quick and work through a plan with me. So I have actually already gone through and synced my monthly calendars, and the tasks that I have not completed, because we still have a week left, the only thing I really migrated was an HR handbook, like a hiring handbook or a manual, more like a checklist sort of a thing that I want to create for our company. I did migrate that forward to February. The rest of these things I actually anticipate that I will get finished this coming week, so I didn't feel like they needed to be migrated. Reviewing quarterly goals, making monthly goals, and scheduling out projects and tasks. That's the only thing I'm probably not going to do here, and that's mainly because I'm going to be doing that in the Power Sheets. That's actually going to be a separate video. It's easier for me to kind of do that, honestly, right before I go to sleep. I kind of take everything and sit in bed and just kind of think about how things are going and what's going on. You'll actually see that in a future video. Reviewing and updating editorial calendar. I have updated it recently. I do still need to plan out March. I am currently using CoSchedule. I haven't decided if I'm going to continue doing that or not. I have a trial that is about to run out. I do have everything also in a Excel spreadsheet as far as scheduling things out by the month, so I may just stick with that. I have not decided yet. All right, so Bible studies for the month. Right now I am working through a book, having a Mary Hart and a Martha World. I'm probably about halfway through. But the other thing I just started, and thank you to one of my viewers whose username is Honeybee for suggesting this book. It's actually a series of 3 books, and I just got these, and as you can see, January is the last one because I'm all the way back here. But it's called The Divine Hours, and what it actually is the morning, afternoon, evening prayer plus Compline completely written out for you. So if you know anything about the Episcopal Church, especially, I can't speak for any others, this is all in our prayer book, but it's scattered throughout, and you can't just use only the prayer book. You have to look up the readings in the back and have a Bible with you. This has everything all in one book, and there are 3 of them, and they're all this thick because they're split into 3 different seasons. Well, there's autumn and winter, there's springtime, and there's summertime. So anyway, there is 3 different books, and so thank you to Honeybee for recommending this because I'm really enjoying it. All right, so email folders I will do on at a separate time. I am trying to be better about keeping my personal email cleaned out a little bit better, and I did clean out my action email folders at the office, and whatever I'm keeping a master task list, especially for office stuff, in OmniFocus. That's, I think I spoke about that in a previous video, but that's kind of where I'm keeping a list of my major to-dos, especially the ones that recur. Planner notes section, at this point in time, that's kind of where this book comes into play. So this replaces me having to draw out months and weeks inside of my bullet journal. I adore bullet journals, and just the thought of rapid logging information. I hate drawing out the weekly and monthly sections. For whatever reason, I know it's fun and cool the first couple of times, and then it just becomes tedious. So what I have done is taken this, and I'm using this as a bullet journal. So this is just a list of everything that I wanted to eventually get into one of these two books. That's a reference for February. So we have January, which essentially is this, same thing. I used the wrong post-it note for it. These are from Cloth and Paper. I'm a member of her subscription box, and so I like it because it's actually like a little post-it note, so I'm just making a note of things that I need to buy there. My first thing that I was doing when I got this is I had a board retreat for the apartment association. So essentially I have the schedule that I just washi taped in, and then I brought forward from whatever I had these written down on, and now at this point I don't even remember. I think they were just in my other planner that I was using. So I brought those forward, and then I have my notes from the board retreat. And I'll talk about what this is here in a second. So this next day, again, I have to-dos and notes from the board retreat, and then for Brocante Home, she has an edited woman class that is basically a year-long thing that I'm working on. And I did move this information, or start to move it, into that A6 that I had out here earlier that I think is underneath something else right now when I set it down on the ground. So that's kind of that. I have some to-dos that I pulled from some random pieces of paper. Essentially, I'm trying to compile all of my to-dos into here. And then I have things that I wanted to do today. Jumping back over here, part of what I got from Pam G was how to bullet journal without having to bring everything forward and keep migrating tasks. Because that, aside from drawing spreads, that was the other thing I hated doing, is rewriting tasks over and over and over again. So her thought was just rapid log it, get it out, put it down on a piece of paper, and then what you would do is abbreviate the date as a 4-digit 0125, so that's January 25th. And then as you get ready to do things, you number the task that hasn't been done yet. So this was the one thing that I wanted to do from this day, and I did it the very next day on the 25th. This quick tidy all rooms, I ended up putting in, because I can either put it in the bullet journal or I can put it in my week. Let me get to my week here. So you'll see this 0125.1. So that's me bringing it forward here. So when I complete it, today's the 26th, I will write out here on the side 0126. That means I finished it on that day. If I work on it for several days, I would just add the dates, however many dates I worked on it, out here in the margin, which is why I've indented everything 5 boxes. That gives me a little bit of margin room here to write. So that's essentially how she suggested dealing with non-migrating or non-migratory, which makes it sound like a bird, non-migratory bullet journal. So that is what I'm trying. And I know you probably, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw me mention that it reminded me a lot of the strike through list that I was using in my previous bullet journal. Essentially what I did in the back is I used the page number and then the item number. So it was page number dot item number, and that was how I referred to a task elsewhere in my bullet journal, rather than having to rewrite the entire task everywhere. It's kind of the same idea, except she's using the date and the item number. And the item number you assign when you decide you want to work on it. So it's random. I could write in 32 if I wanted to. But in this case, I just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to whatever I need to do. All right, so that is how I'm using this book. So essentially this is a quick and dirty bullet journal that I just rapid log things I need to do, notes, ideas, thoughts. They all go in here. So that's why I have these two attached, is because together this makes my planner. I have my schedule and my to-dos. And just like the previous reason for having a bullet journal, I like this because it means that I have as much space as I need. There's 365 pages in here. I probably will not need all 365 pages through the end of the year. So I can write more, I can write less. It's however much I need to. All right, so we talked a little bit about planner notes, the other planner sections. Pretty much at this point in time, what I would be reviewing would be goals, because that's the only other thing I have written in here. I did mention this list, which is things that I would potentially want to bring forward as a list. Annual goals I have in here. Actually, I should check these off. I do want to bring forward my rule of life, so probably what I will do is either tape or paste in some items in this book, kind of like I did that schedule. Books to read will be in here. Movies to watch, TV to watch will be in here. Service log I had in my previous planner, but I'm thinking what I may do instead of making it one list is potentially, I don't know, either just adding it to my daily log and putting some sort of an icon that I can scan through and look for, or maybe highlighted something or other. Not sure. I'm still trying to figure that out because I would probably want some sort of an index of that information. So maybe I would just have a page that's essentially an index for that, where I just reference the date and the item or something. So I don't have to write it in two different places. I do want to have a list area for prayer requests. Not sure how I'm going to work on that, because sometimes I like to write things down as I get them if I don't have my prayer journal with me. So not sure. Contacts, I will probably do some sort of a tip in or create like a little book, kind of like I did with this, because those do get changed fairly often. This is for the office, so people at the office. I do have my routines. The weekly cleaning to-dos. Oh, I skipped some stuff. Menu planning, grocery list. I don't know about that yet. That, again, it just may get rapid logged in here on the day that I'm, making my menu plan. I'll just put my grocery list in there with it. So I do have my review checklist. That's in here. My routines are in here. The weekly cleaning to-dos. Back to that. So this is what I'm using right now. It's Motivated, I think it's Motivated Moms. I'll link it down below. So she has several different types of cleaning checklists. Some of them include like Bible verses. Some of them include, things to do for your children or your pets. I just grabbed just the one that has the house cleaning to-dos. I think she calls it CMH, Clean My House Planner. That's what this is. So essentially, it's front and back. It has the entire week's cleaning chores. What I'm doing with this is the night before the next day, I'm writing down that next day's tasks on that next day. So kind of like as part of my daily review. I don't really have a way to put this in here. I mean, I could fold it and it would fit if I wanted to do that. Right now, actually what I'm doing is I have it saved to my phone, the PDF, and so I just pull it up. But right now I don't have to scroll very far, so that may change. I may actually fold it as she suggests. I don't remember how she had it folded. I think it was like this. And in that case, it would actually tuck into either one of my planners. So that's something I have not yet decided what I'm going to do about. Because if I fold it in half, it would actually fit. I think it's a little big for that, but it would fit into here. So, and of course, the planner cover I'm getting is a full B6, and it has several different elastics in it because it's actually like a traveler's notebook cover. So I could actually create a traveler's notebook book out of this on better paper and do it that way. I would not want to have the back side upside down if I did that. All right, neither here nor there, but this is what I'm using, and right now, for now, I'm pulling it off my phone and putting it into my bullet journal the night before. Whoops. All right, budget, that would be something that would be loose also, probably kind of like the contacts. So again, as I'm thinking about the cover that I'm planning on using, probably bind together loosely without staples. The contacts section, the budget section, and my travel section. So that way the travel section will probably be by itself. Right now that information is on the monthly pages. I'm storing essentially to and from and then the times, but the more detailed stuff I will bind into its own booklet. And so that will probably be a B6 size. Maybe I'll make some other sizes as requested, but when I do, I'll put those on my Etsy store. So more sizes coming soon. Other than that, the headache tracker, I will probably put on the monthly calendar. There's these little smiley faces. If you wanted to do like mood tracking for each day, I can probably highlight one that would let me know that I had a headache that day, and then put the information into my bullet journal as far as severity and, you know, what I did, what I thought the cause was. For cycle tracking, I actually track that right now on my phone through the Fitbit app. The travel schedules I mentioned are already in here. They're in this annual overview. And then I already just talked about travel information. So that will likely be its own booklet inside of that planner cover. All right, so next, I've already synced the monthly calendar. I've already moved unfinished tasks from the previous week, things that I don't think that I'm going to get accomplished. Reviewing goals and determining big rocks for the week. So for me, the big rock is completing our corporate tax prep. I do want to get that finished this month. Ideally, I'd like to get it sent to the CPA by Thursday. So it's done and out of my hair. And we can, all of our personal taxes hinge on having the corporate taxes done first. So I want to make sure I get that turned in on time. All right, so weekly schedule's already here. I don't have any day-specific tasks necessarily. Usually the only one that I put in on my calendar is processing payroll, and that was last week. So daily pages are actually set up the night before. So to be honest, I'm going to take that out next time I edit this. So determining meals and prep for the week. I believe I've told you this before, but I actually use a program called Plan to Eat for meal planning. So let me jump back. Actually, last week I was going to make a Italian style pot roast, and then I went out into the freezer and noticed we had no more beef roast left. Quick history, we actually order our meat in bulk. We buy a split side of beef, which means it's essentially a quarter of a cow, and a side of pork. So we are out of roasts, which we didn't get that many of them this time, but that's okay. Last week I did make split pea soup, and to be honest, I want to make it again because that was really good. I think maybe I'll make it on Monday. So I'll actually link the menu planning or meal planning video below where I talk about how I use Plan to Eat, and you can actually see all the screenshots. Oops. Usually I have stuff queued that is related to that season. Let's see if anything looks good in here. I know we have pork roasts, which the last time I tried to make this, I asked my husband to defrost a pork roast. He pulled out a beef roast, and I cooked the beef roast like I did the Kahlua pig usually, and it tasted okay. It was just different. So let's see. Oh, it's up here. Usually I do this on my computer, so it looks a little different. I think I will do that on Wednesday. Whoops. Add. And I have a bunch of chicken thighs in the freezer. Maybe I'll make this. Yeah, I'll probably do that Thursday. All right, so if I come to the planner, usually I cook like every other day. So I'll have split pea, and we'll actually have quite a bit of split pea soup left. So I think I'm going to move this, reschedule to, already scheduled to Saturday. I just need to make sure I cook early. I just remembered So you can see how I use this to draw these in. All right. So I just remembered that somebody I teach dance with asked if I would teach with him on Saturday. So that's important information. I need to know that. All right, so Thursday, we'll do leftovers. And Friday, leftovers or out. We actually have not eaten out all that much since we have Emma, because she really can't be left alone by herself all that much right now, since she is so small. She's only 9 weeks right now. When we got her, she was 7 weeks. So the vet just okayed today her meeting with Joey, and so they met for the first time today face to face. Joey did really well. There was no growling or barking, which, you know, has happened before, so I'm glad that went well. All right, so we have the meal planning done for the week, and likely what I will do is put this information in here. And I'll probably put Sunday here, so I'm going to put this on this side. And I am leaving space because I will probably want to potentially plan breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So and I don't know what we're doing for dinner on Sunday yet, but that's okay. And then what I will do is put my grocery list over there. And I'll determine what that is at a different time. So you don't have to sit there and watch me think about my groceries yet. Because to be honest, I think we have most everything we need for this. All right, I think that was my husband coming home, so you'll probably hear the dog barking in the background, and I apologize. These sorts of things are actually going on the bullet journal pages, so I just need to know that I have them available, and then I'll just add them the night before. So planning outfits for the week, I think I might have mentioned this in a previous video, but I don't know for sure. So what I have started doing is using a capsule wardrobe, and the capsule wardrobe that I am using is actually, well, there's a bunch of them. This is one of them here. It's from Leanne Blackman, and her website is Classy Yet Trendy. So I highly recommend, if you're looking for a potential capsule wardrobe idea, she has items in here. She has links for where you can buy them. And then as you go further along, she shows you outfits and how to put them together. And so each ebook has about 100 outfits in them. There are a few that are like 4 seasons in one, so there's more than 100. But then she also has a Facebook group where people post what they've decided to wear that day, how they've changed what was suggested, and so you get ideas on ways to put different pieces of clothing together. So highly recommend that. And where I have been planning what I'm going to wear is inside of Cladwell. So Cladwell will actually suggest items for you based on what you have inside of your wardrobe, and then you can go in and edit. So today I'm wearing jeans. I'm wearing a cowl neck tunic. You can kind of see what all I have listed in my closet. So this is essentially what I'm wearing today. So then I go in, I log the outfit, and you can come over here and you can see your style profile. So what I have in my closet, I've worn 61% of it. It'll tell me what colors I have, what's most in my closet, what I wear most of the time, what my go-to items are, and the least worn items. So a lot of times I'll come in here to the least worn items and go, oh, I should wear this, and then I'll pick that and wear it. A lot of these dresses, it's a little too chilly to wear right now, so that's why they haven't been worn very much. But you can actually divide them down. So I take what's in some of the capsule wardrobes, and I've tailored them to what I have in my closet. So then when it picks outfits, it picks it based from that capsule. Or I just have everything and then it's just all the stuff that I have in my closet. So anyway, really kind of a cool app. As far as I know, I don't think there's a charge for it right now. It's called Cladwell, Cladwell. So usually Sunday nights I'll go in and I'll pick out what I'm going to wear for the rest of the week. One of the cool things about the Facebook group though, is she has in the announcements section a capsule wardrobe calendar. So I mentioned each one of the books has 100 outfits. So no matter what book you have, she has a calendar. If you're just like, I don't know what to wear today, you can look at today's date. So today is the 26th, so it's outfit number 19. So if I go over to the ebook, let's say this one's French Minimalist Fall 2018. If I scroll down, then I can see this is outfit number 19. So that gives me an idea of what I might wear for that day. So gray jeans, black shirt, gray sweater, black loafers, a scarf, and a black purse. So those are, and you can look because usually they have grouped together the same shirt. And if you want to change pants or pants to a skirt, whatever, different top based on the weather, you can. So that's kind of the cool thing. It's like, well, you know, it's a little chilly today, so maybe, you know, maybe I'll wear this coat, and it's a little too cold for mules, so rather than that, maybe I'll wear these block heels. So you can kind of change based on what you have and what you feel like wearing that day. So anyway, that's a long story short for how I plan out what I'm going to wear for the week. As I'll sit down and do that in my Cladwell app. And usually I'll have my computer pulled open because those are all ebooks. I did print them out, but usually what I'll do is just pull up each one of the PDF files and just search for the outfit number and then just see, because I actually have a bunch of the ebooks, figure out which one I feel like wearing. They do have a workwear one, which is nice because usually Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, that's where I pull my outfits from. And then Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I pull from either French Minimalist or Essential, which those can be a little more on the casual side sometimes. All right, check task and project lists and add important task for the week. Follow up on a waiting for list. So I don't have a waiting for list yet. Not in here. Usually I keep that in OmniFocus, but I'm thinking if it's something on the go, there is a promises list in here about using that. Where is it? Promise list. Thinking about using this as kind of a waiting for list. So I can put like who it is and what it is that I'm waiting on. So that is just a possibility. And these are blank, so I would have extra room to carry stuff over. So otherwise, most of the time that will be in here. So let me look in my list and see if I have anything that I need to add. I actually do. So actually going to do that on Tuesday. So I will put this down as 0124. So that's January 24th, .2. So that tells me I need to look at my bullet journal on this day for item number 2, and then I can see what it is. So as I said, if you've listened to my previous videos, it reminds me a lot of the strike through idea. This I will actually probably do, because I'm hoping this tax prep review won't take quite as long. And this is the other one that's kind of tied to that. So I'll put it here in the afternoon. It may happen in the afternoon, it may not. We shall see. So I do need to get those done. So these are the items that I need to do for tax prep. So these were actually the specific things. And that I will probably need to do also. So I will put these in the morning. So this is the 25th. So 0125.1. 0125.2, 0125.3, 3. And I'm not putting these in any specific area as far as I need to do it at this time. I just need to do this in the morning block. I'll put a 5 on that one and do that in the afternoon. And I've done that earlier today, and I'm just now finishing that, as well as this one. All right. So that is adding my important tasks for the week. I have them on Monday and Tuesday. I'll reevaluate based on what comes up to look at Thursday and Friday, probably on Wednesday sometime. I'm cleaning out inboxes and action email folders. Definitely need to go through my office inbox. So I will put that on Tuesday as a to-do. So you'll notice I put this on this date. I have not done anything because I do the bullet journal stuff kind of as I go. So likely what will happen is Monday night, Tuesday morning, when I get ready to put down all my stuff I need to do for Tuesday, I will actually write this down in my bullet journal as well. Maybe. Maybe not. It may just stay here. I don't know. This is all very new, like within a week. So things may change a little bit. Now I do have a calendar that sits out that everyone can see. It's near the refrigerator. I don't have that with me where I'm filming, but I will go ahead and probably put February's information out there, just so that my husband has it if he needs to see what's going on. All right, so I know I wasn't able to show you actually doing everything, but hopefully you kind of get an idea of how I'm working my monthly/weekly reviews and kind of getting prepped for the upcoming month and week. And a lot of this is just kind of setting kind of the general parameters and kind of my hardscape, and then I fill it in kind of as I go with things that come up, things that become more important or more urgent, and just kind of go from there. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, I know a lot of people are probably going to ask me for this information that I have in this booklet, and I am keeping this just as a side note. Okay, so when I dug out this Project Life card, and I don't remember where I got it because I think I've had it for 2 or 3 years. I have a sneaking suspicion it came from Studio Calico, and I don't know why there's stuff in here. Sorry, this is bothering me. There's stuff on the card. There we go. Anyway, I have a sneaking suspicion this is from Studio Calico because that's where a lot of the cards that were with it were from, but don't quote me on that. That's my guess, my best guess. And I've had it for many years. Probably 2015, I think, is probably when I would have gotten it. So just as a heads up, it's probably not something you'd be able to find. But this is something I printed from someplace. Also, probably like a Pinterest or a Google. And I found it, I actually thought it was kind of cool, kind of as a reminder, what will you make of your today? So I just put it back here to kind of help give this a little bit more, since this is just very thin printer paper, to get a little more substance back here. And then this is actually just a pen holder from Leuchtturm that I had attached to something else that was in a traveler's notebook. And it was attached to something plastic, and I was like, oh, I wonder if this will pop off, and it did. So, and it was still sticky, so just put it on there. That worked out really well. All right, so we'll put all this stuff back in. So I'm hoping that was helpful, that you got a chance to see how I do everything and how I kind of get ready for the next week. The good news is I'm now mostly ready for my next week. I still have a few things left to do, like planning some grocery list stuff and my outfits, but I won't bore you with that. Oh, put everything back, put it all back where it came from. And these, just in case anybody is curious, these are individually perforated. So each one of these lines, and there's actually a couple of these attached, is perforated. So what I can do is, if I need to put these over something, because it may be almost like whiteout sort of a situation, or if I want to take a group of them and make like a task list and put it someplace, I can. And they're Post-it notes. So they're sticky probably to maybe about here, so you can kind of pull them off. It's probably about as much sticky as on these. But there's a large booklet, and I just pulled off a couple of them because I don't think I'll need that many all at once. So just in case I want to use them someplace, I have those. I don't remember where this came from. I'll just put it back here. All right. So I'm going to go do some thinking on my February goals and my tending list, and so probably one of the next videos you will see from me is Power Sheets update for January, and then where I'm planning to go for February. So stay tuned for that in the next couple of weeks. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate you giving it a thumbs up. If you are not already, please subscribe. I have lots of planner videos. As you can see, they're all different types of planners because I change periodically depending on what I need. And right now, I need simplicity. I need a spread that's drawn out for me so I can easily track and visualize my weekly calendar and my monthly calendar. I know there are people that do great with the linear bullet journal style of viewing the week and the month. I'm not one of those people. For whatever reason, I need that calendar sort of structure for my brain. So the combination of this plus bullet journal seems to be my current planner piece. I'm not going to say it's going to be my planner piece forever, but it did work out very well. It is working out for me very well right now. So I thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!